Do you have bookshelves that are empty and you don't know how to style them? Or do you have bookshelves that are full of books like I'm about to show you, that are full of books and photo albums like this? Hey, I'm Nancy and this is Designer Savvy. Welcome to my home. Today we are going to use some gorgeous accessories, and this is how we're going to do it. Whenever you're decorating shelves like this, you need to display them in varying heights, and you need to incorporate different elements in the room, such as your woods, your metals, and your greenery or your florals. Use things that mean something to you, that you love, that go along with your decor, and also use things that says a little something about the people that live in your home. If this sounds good to you, then come on along. Let's jump right in. Now it's time to remove all the books off of that bookshelf. The dog chewed it up. That's called really getting into the word. We're at the end. I went ahead and pulled the photo albums out that have the coloring or the covers on them that I know goes with the decor in our home and in this room. And if you've been watching my videos, you know I'm a fan of magnolias. And I do use this raspberry color throughout the house, and of course the cream colors and the sage greens. So these are definitely going to stay. I've also got two, one is a leathery suede look, and the other is a leather bound, kind of a camel color look. So we're definitely going to use that, and that'll blend in nicely with the coloring of the bookshelves. And then most definitely anything with black in it, because that's one of my accent colors throughout the entire home and in this room. So this is going to be our starting point for having props that we might want to set a figurine on. So this is a place to start whenever you are beginning to style a bookshelf in your home, any kind of shelving in your home. And then from there, we're going to build on that, and we can build height on that. And the next thing we're going to start with is either taller greenery, or we're going to start with taller figurines of some kind. Y'all excuse the lighting. The sun has been out so bright and it just went behind a cloud, so I'm sure it'll be back soon. So what we're going to do next is I have all of my accessories. I'm going to evenly distribute them on these bookshelves. I used some of the things that I already had, but I also went shopping for other things. So you're going to see twins, okay? I do love symmetry. I like for things to match for the most part. So I'm going to go ahead and put the accessories on each of the shelving, and we'll go from there. So I added just a few more things that I almost forgot about that are over there on the table, and I'm going to play with it for a little while, and then once I'm pretty sure how I want things, I'll show you what I've come up with. Okay, so we have all of our accessories here on this bookshelf. I'm going to start with this one over here, though, that we were on working with to begin with, and then I'll come over here and work with this one. There are rules that we want to follow when accessorizing a bookshelf. Number one, you want to start with an empty bookshelf. Do what I did, clear everything off. You need to start with a blank slate so it won't be confusing. And number two, you want to go ahead and get an idea of your color palette. These are the colors and the accent colors that I use throughout my home. And I'm going to use these same colors on these bookshelves. So we have accent colors of black and silver, and then the main colors are white, cream, a sage green, and then the raspberry color. The third thing you want to do is shop your home first. Pull accessories from all rooms in your home, bring them to the room where you're going to be styling your bookshelf, lay it out on the floor just to see what you've got. And from there, you can build upon that and add to it as you need to. Make sure you do all of your shopping first. You want to have more accessories than you actually think you need, because there's nothing worse than getting started on a project and then you get almost to the end and you're like, oh man, I need a couple more things, and you have to take time to run out and get that. So make sure you do all of that first. When I was shopping for accessories for this room, I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm going to be taking at least a third of this stuff back. Well, guess what? I don't think I'm going to be taking any of it back. So lots of great places to shop. You can shop Goodwill, you can shop the thrift store. If there are any yard sales in your area right now, that's another thought. You can shop stores. You can talk to friends, family, see if they have any items that they're going to be getting rid of that they might want to give to you. So that is your starting point. And then we want to make sure that our accessories are of varied heights. You need 3 different heights. You need a taller, a medium-sized height, and then a shorter height. Step number 4 is that we're going to be using the rules of 3. And that simply means that items look better when they're grouped together in odd numbers. And in this case, the most items we want to use together are 3. Now that also means to use matching or similar styles. And again, they're going to be varied heights, taller, medium, and shorter. In photography, when the rules of 3 are applied, what that means is the focal point is often not the center, but it's actually off to the side. And what that does is that draws you in directly to the composition rather than just staring at the center. So it allows you to see the whole and not just the part. We may choose to have a different colored backdrop than what we have here. Of course, we have the natural wood stain on this bookshelf. I might paint it white in the future, but I'm not quite sure. I want to style the bookcases first and then I'll go from there. But if I were to use a lot of the dark accessories, then that's not really going to work with the medium toned wood of the bookshelf. So another thing that you can do is you can actually apply peel and stick wallpaper to the back. You could also paint it whatever color you wanted. You could add mirrors to the back, or you could even add some art to the back. Now, my bookshelves have wood on the back of them, but yours might be open in the back and all that you can see is your wall behind there. So keep that in mind when you're thinking of a backdrop for each of your shelves. You don't have to have a backdrop for each shelf as far as adding mirrors or art. You may just want your wall color. You may want more of a simple, open, airy look, and that's okay. You'll know as you start doing it, it'll speak to you and you'll know what you need. Now that you've got a glimpse of all the accessories I'm going to use, I'm going to remove them and then I'm going to start adding back the largest accessories first, and that is our next step. And then after we've placed those, and we kind of want to cascade them. We don't want them vertical boom, 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 or horizontal boom, boom, boom. So they have to be strategically placed, and then we can incorporate the medium-sized and smaller accessories around those. When I first brought all of my accessories into the room, I placed them on the tables and I grouped them with like items. I put all of my wooden accessories together, all of my silver together, all the florals together, and then all of my larger wooden pieces together. And it's visually more easy to pick what you need because they were in different height order as well. So I strongly encourage you to do that. It'll make your job much easier. So because I have the darker background on the bookshelf, I want something white on these ends to brighten it and add a pop of light. This was $21.99 and I got it from At Home, and each of these were $12.99. also from At Home, and this was from At Home, also $12.99. Now it's time to incorporate the medium and smaller items. So I like the way things look so far, and I do like the way that I have incorporated the jute and the seagrass and the basket. But if I wanted to use something like this little pot, and this was made by a local artist that actually lives one street over from us, I could add this jute string to it, this jute twine, and that would be the common denominator that would make this little pot work with this grouping up here. I would also add a pop of white to that. So I am going to go do that. I'm going to go in the kitchen and I'm going to hot glue this and see what it looks like. I can always take it off if I don't like it. I wanted to show you guys what this looks like. I did go ahead and hot glue that piece of jute around there, and I think it's really cute. And again, if I don't like it, I can take it off. But if I wanted to use this up here with this grouping, or instead of, let's say I didn't have this, then that can be the common denominator with these three. But I'm not going to use it with that, but I might use it somewhere on the bookcase. I really like those three items together. And I wanted to point out that that is a placemat that came from the At Home store, and it was $5.99. And then this is a basket that was actually a gift given to us when we got married. So I wanted to incorporate that in here because I have held on to that for a while. Okay, so I'm going to do some more thinking as to what my next step is, and I'll see you again shortly. This rope ball, forgot to mention that, was $14.99 from the At Home store. Most all of these accessories are from the At Home store. If you have any design books like these at home, take the covers off, and usually you'll find really pretty bindings on the books. Just so happens it's the cream and the white. So this is what I've come up with so far, and I like it. I have a tip for you all. When you're standing back in your own home and you're looking at your bookshelf, you can't look at it like an outsider would look at it because it's your stuff. However, if you go behind your camera and look through the lens of your camera, it's just like you're looking at somebody else's room. And that really helps you be able to tweak things and see things that don't look quite right. So I've been playing with this a little bit and tried some different things, didn't like it, took it away, tried something else. So that's a great tip for you that you can try in your home. I want to go ahead and give you some prices of these things because I think I'm going to keep this like this. So let me give you some more prices on some items that I haven't shared with you yet. This is a little plate, probably came from Ross, and I paid $4.99 for it. Love it. It's hammered silver. This little ball was in a pack of moss balls that I got from Kirkland's. Don't remember the price of that. This little tree came from Hobby Lobby, and regular price $15.99, but I never pay regular price, so it was, I'm sure it was 50% off. Love that little tree. Love the shape of that tree. These are hard to see because they're so dark, so let me give you a closer look. These are my cross book ends. And I think they were maybe Home Interiors and Gifts years ago. And this artichoke was $12.99 from the At Home store. And then these photo albums I've had for a good long while, so I don't remember where they even came from. Love what I've done here so far. I'm going to get behind the camera and look at it for a couple more minutes, and then I've got some more tips for you. Here's another tip. And this is kind of, if I see somebody's bookshelf and I can't make any kind of connection with it, it just kind of drives me a little nuts. I like to have common denominators when I'm styling bookshelves. I either want similar colors within the little vignette that I'm doing, or similar material, or similar uses for those items, like using different levels and heights of vases, for example, or like what I did here. These are natural woven textures. We have wood, we have seagrass, and we have rope. So those are nature elements, and they're very similar colors. And same thing here. I have the set of bookends, of course they're the same color, but they serve a purpose. They serve a specific function. It's not just hodgepodge stuff just thrown in together. And sometimes you might be able to get away with that and it look really great. So I've got the photo albums here, and the bookends are holding those up, so that serves that purpose. Here I have two different types of greenery, and I do have some little faux books. So I think of reading out in a garden surrounded with your greenery, your decorative garden orbs, or your little rosemary bush and those kind of things. So I try and make sense of what I'm using in my vignette. And I hope that made sense to you all. And again, down here we've got the bookends, obviously holding up a book. You could also do a grouping of baskets. Baskets, they would be similar because they're all baskets. I could do a grouping with candles, and they would all be candles. I could have done different architectural pieces like this. That was the cream colored wood and then the dark undertones in it, and that would have made sense. But it kind of has to make sense to me, or like I said, it kind of throws things off for me. You can do what you want to do in your home, but these are my tips, and this is kind of how I style bookshelves. Now we're ready to tackle bookshelf number 2. Okay, so this is what I'm going to go with right now. I just wanted to add these few pieces to show you. These are items that I already had. You know, if I wanted to incorporate more elements here, these two are kind of close to the same height, so I guess it would be okay. This one's a little bit taller, this little basket. So if you wanted to do odd numbers still, using 5 items instead of 3, that would really work better if you had a much larger shelf space to work with. But you don't want it too busy, you don't want it to look too overwhelming, you don't want it to look too crowded. So these are just for the purpose of showing you what you could use if you had this at home in place of the items that I used. So I'm going to leave it like this. I do have one different item here than what I had over there, and this is actually an old wine jug, I guess, that my grandfather got at a sale at an auction many, many years ago. So he used to love to go to auctions, and this is just special to me because it's something that he liked and that he purchased, and it was passed on to me, and I love it, and I adored my grandfather, and it's just a great memory, and it's something that every time I look at it, it's going to make me smile. Again, I use the same round placemat from the at-home store, and then also the little rope orb. And then I used the same architectural element right here that I used on the other bookshelf. Same thing going on here, same thing here, just different photo album, but same color. I have horse bookends that I use down here where I use the cross bookends on the other shelf, and added more photo albums in here. I'm going to get behind the camera in a minute and see what that looks like through the lens. And then added another bit of sparkle here. Be happy, be bright, be you. Love that. Love the swirl design. This is a mirrored frame, so just adds a little bit of light and sparkle here. And I think that frame maybe came from Burlington, and bought it a few years back, so I don't have the price tag on it any longer. And I just think these are the neatest things. This comes from Home Goods. You can get them in white. I've seen them in black, but I loved the silver. Just kind of looks like 2 links connected there. Again, that adds a little bit more sparkle. Again, grouping in 3 different things here. So I like that look. I'm going to get behind the camera and see what I think and see what I need to tweak. I want to show you all a few more elements that I could have used but chose not to. I can always change my mind. I can always change things out later. So can you. But let me show you what I didn't use. I did get 2 of these little plants from Hobby Lobby. They were $16.99, half off. Decided not to use those, but I could have used that on the books instead of this, but I really wanted that little bit of bling of silver to add just a little bit of light to the area because of the tone of the wood. So I love these, so I'll probably use them somewhere else. I had this little silver box that was given to me by a friend years ago. I need to polish it up, shine it up. This came from Argentina, and that's something that I could use, I could still use here and prop it up against the book. I would need to add something else here so I would have my odd numbers, because I've got 1, 2, 3. So I could do something like that. I did not use the artichoke on this side because I chose to use this silver blingy picture frame and the silver links. So that's, something else that I could have used here. If I wanted to put this here and another element with the white and the darker stained wood here, I could do that. But that's too much white when you look at it through the camera. I tried that a minute ago. I had a 3rd piece here on the other side, and it's just too much going on this shelf, length of this shelf. So it really wouldn't work there very well, but it might with what you have at home. If you have any old spectacles, that's something else that could be used. These came, where do these come from? Maybe Home Interiors and Gifts years ago. But, you could prop some spectacles up here against the books like that. You still could do that if you wanted to. Or just lay them on top of your books like so. That's a cute look. That goes together. A lot of us have to have glasses to read. So that's another idea for you. And another idea, rather than the bookends, you could use corbels. I had used these in a previous home actually for curtains because that's what they're typically for. It can also be a little shelf that you sit something on, but You can also stand it up like this, and it could just be a little architectural piece. I could spray paint that white if I wanted to, or any color. And that would be a cute element to use with another wooden element like that. These can also be used as bookends because I do that actually in our family room. So lots of functional ways to use this one piece. Love that. I love pieces that you can use 10 different ways. That really cuts down on the cost of your decorative accessories. So this came from Home Interiors and Gifts years ago. And one last idea for you. I gathered this tray from our master bathroom, and again, this came from Tuesday morning, and it was $12.99. But this is another idea if you need to add a little bit of light to a dark space. Okay, I don't have room here, but on top I have room. These shelves are different heights. Put it on a stand like that, and let me grab one of my little birds. It would be so cute to like put a little figurine in front of that to where you can see, I don't know if y'all can see that or not. You can see the little reflection, of the little bird in there. That's really cute. You could put a photo in there. Lots of uses. You could put some greenery in that, a flower on that. Just add a touch of light. Now it doesn't go with what I've got going right here. So I'm just showing you this as another option of something you could use to add a little bit of light to your bookshelf. And I could have used this little bird. I could have set him there on the white books instead of the orb. So I can always change my mind and change it up. Want to show you what it looks like with the accent light that I have on the top of the bookshelf. And then I'll give you a closer look of the other bookshelf. And I did add a few more of the photo albums right there because I did want to use all of them. And I might actually move that brown one to the other side with the other brown one. But I do love this look. I love how this has turned out. And what I'm going to do is give you one final look, and then I will give you a room tour soon. Comment below and let me know what was your favorite tip of the day. Remember to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. See you next time.